Hello everyone, CyrusHojjaty. I want to point out that our public school system has disproportionately failed boys miserably. It is undeniable that boys in this country are failing behind in education, a trend significant implications for their future opportunities for their societal well-being. According to the National Center of Education Statistics, boys consistently score lower than girls in reading and writing assignments. Moreover, we're seeing other different gaps. It's not a recent phenomenon. It's been happening since the late 1970s. One contributing factor is my friend believes that the largest factor is classroom environments are more tailored to girls' learning styles. This trend started to happen in the 70s when teaching revamped to address the needs of girls and witnessed the first-hand of immediate effects it had on boys. He noticed the anti-male sentiment and the feminist agenda started to take hold and overshadowed everything else. Male teachers and administrators who did not finally align with this agenda pushed themselves out. This trend is reflected in today's statistics. Male teachers and administrators have dropped to about 23%. The other thing is that we have a lack of role models. Boys are more likely to be diagnosed with behavioral problems to control their behavior. Societal narratives around masculinity may discourage boys from excelling academically, associated with pursuits of lack of traditional male traits. Feminist-driven cultural shifts in education have also prioritized empowering girls. For an example, state and level programs have closed many of the gender gaps among STEM. However, efforts to support boys in fields such as health and education remain scarce, boys who want to obtain these fields. Well, what should we do? 1, increase male representation in teaching. 2, implementing male-focused mentorship programs. 3, adopt tailored teaching methods. 4, promoting balanced narrative, expand vocational access to training. Now, of course, perhaps another idea is maybe we could do, I don't know, an option for gender segregation where males and females have different separate schools. I mean, because I guess we learn differently. We're not like each other. That could be potentially an option. But I want to make this very clear that when you talk about taxpayer funds, men pay about 80% of the taxes that go to our government structures. And all different levels. And let's not forget that it was the men who bought the land, particularly on the Strip, built their casinos, created a lot of jobs and opportunities. So please do what you can and reduce the bias. Thank you.
Good evening, Superintendent Ebert and members of the board. My name is Julie Kemp. I am a member of WARJ speaking here tonight as an individual. When my kids were younger, other than being a parent volunteer, I didn't have any involvement with CCSD. My kids have always done well in school, and I just assumed they were getting a good education. Having been educated in the public school system myself, it's really all I knew. It never occurred to me that we weren't being taught the full truth of our American history. As I near becoming an empty nester, I have found myself in a place with more time on my hands and the desire to find another purpose outside of work. I found WARJ, formerly SURGE, in a quest to find a home with like-minded individuals who also believe in fighting for justice and equality and doing what is morally right. When I joined WARJ, I came from a place of ignorance, having been raised in a mostly white bubble. Through our partnerships with Las Vegas Alliance of Black School Educators, No Racism in School 1865, and The Gathering, along with WARJ Book Club and Study, I have learned more about the true history of America and white supremacy than I ever learned growing up. As it turns out, this was by design, so we wouldn't know enough to question the continued inequality and perpetuated by systemic racism. Additionally, I have learned that my own white privilege has allowed me to remain ignorant. In Book Club, we have read a number of eye-opening books. One of the most influential books I recently read is titled White Rage. The book points out that anytime Black advancement occurs, this triggers rage in white people, leading to a backlash of changes to laws and policies which remove Black agency and progress. In 178 pages of history, starting with the Civil War through current time, Carol Anderson, the author, points out proof of both this rage and its backlash, supported by 112 pages of references to back up her case. I think it's important to know that before reading this book and others, as well as the education I've gained at the gathering, I was one of those white people who believed that we had been on the right path towards equality. I believed most people themselves weren't racist, and I didn't know anything about systemic racism. Having been a member of WARJ for more than a year, I'm now quite aware that racism is alive and well, and I cannot unsee this fact. If we don't teach full Black American history to our children and address systemic racism, the whiteness we all breathe every day will reign supreme. My personal hope is that as others learn these truths, they too will be passionate towards abolishing racism. The board is lucky to have groups like LAVABC and No Racism in Schools 1865 as partners and mentors in the Black Student Agenda and the anti-racism policy. This school board, along with educators, students, and parents, can be catalyst for creating an educational environment where true Black American history is taught, equality and equal opportunity exist, curiosity and critical thinking are nourished, and empathy and kindness for one another is embraced. Thank you for your time.
Hello, Clark County School District. My name is Alex Stein. I'm here representing O'Keefe Media Group, and the reason why I'm here is a very serious reason. We have evidence, concrete evidence, of a teacher named Christopher Siegel who was caught on a hot mic talking about how he grooms children and lies to the parents about their gender dysphoria, keeps it behind the parents' back, and to me, this is a rape of their innocence by using children to use your own weird LGBTQIA agenda and subversively programming impressionable young kids, and then lying to the parents about it and doing a violation of Clark County School District policy. And the fact that the school district has not responded to this is child grooming, and this is prevalent. This is the 5th largest school district in the United States of America. So I'm not just representing the whole entire state. I'm not just representing all these students. What I'm representing is the idea that there are people in power like yourself that are not going to expose this because you don't want to have egg on your face, because you're worried about how people are going to view the district instead of trying to actually fix a problem that is very prevalent. There's almost 200 kids that identify as being transgender in this district. Just imagine that. If an 18-year-old can't, drink a beer, 18-year-old can't get a tattoo, why would you give a 15-year-old cross-sex hormones? Why would you give a 14-year-old a mastectomy? These are life-changing surgeries. And the idea that, yes, gay people exist, I'm not anti-gay, but what does a pride flag represent? What is the simplistic representation of a pride flag? It's not about Stonewall, it's not about gay rights, it's about what your sexual preference is. So I don't understand why we would put a pride flag in a classroom and glorify who you want to have sex with. And so I wish this was some conspiracy, but we have one of your teachers at Gunderson Middle School, a guy by the name of Christopher Siegel, goes by Mix Siegel. I don't even know what pronoun that is. And he is talking about how he thinks every student is a little gay. And he talks about how he coaches kids to come out as gay. This is very alarming. This is happening across the country. And I really implore the school district to make a statement about it, because there's only enough citizen journalists that can go out and expose these teachers. It's a much more prevalent problem than just one teacher at Gunderson Middle School here in Clark County, School District grooming a child. This is very serious, and I think that you should be an example and set an example by punishing him to the fullest extent of the district's power and showing the world that you care about protecting kids. Because right now, the rest of the world has seen this footage, and they do not have any trust in this school district, because we haven't heard a statement from you. We haven't heard any response. We don't know the latest on his, employment here. So this is a serious issue. Christopher Siegel was on a hot mic grooming kids, and I implore you guys to do something about it.
Hello. I'm here today as a future mom questioning why we are handing the keys of our classrooms to groomers and pedophiles. I want you to imagine a little girl walking into school for the first time, looking up at her teacher and thinking, I want to be just like them. That little girl was me. I loved my teachers because they were smart and kind and taught us how to read, how to think, and how to succeed. Now kids are being groomed to want to grow up just like their teacher, Mix Siegel, the one who was caught coaching children as young as 11 on how to come out as queer, using secret pronouns behind parents' backs and telling them everyone should be a little gay. What will those students' success look like? Regret from gender reassignment surgery and expensive therapy bills? Why on earth does a grown man need to know these kids' sexual thoughts? Why is he keeping it hidden from their families? What exactly is the goal here? Our classrooms are starting to look a lot like a certain island. You know, the one full of elite child trafficking and pedophilia networks that preyed on the young and vulnerable. Yet we're told it's perfectly fine for adults like this to have secret access to our kids during their most impressionable years. I really hope it's just a coincidence that pizza parties show up in both the files and on classroom calendars. But don't you find it interesting how these individuals keep finding their way back into schools around children? Of course they do. They can't reproduce, so they recruit. I guess it makes sense that children are now being force-fed LGBTQIA+ acronyms before they even learn their ABCs. They want access to young minds and young bodies that they can shape while parents are locked out. Our schools are becoming the new islands for perverts, and child trafficking and pedophilia are being disguised in bright rainbow colors. My future daughter will one day leave my arms and walk into one of these classrooms, and I refuse to let her come home questioning whether she's the girl that God created her to be or the boy that Mick Siegel tells her that she can be. It's not bigotry to protect our children from being coached into the wrong gender. How am I supposed to help her with her homework when I never even heard the pronoun MX before? Is that the new curriculum? If this is the direction our schools are headed, turning classrooms into recruitment centers and places of hidden sexual confusion instead of education and protection, then parents will have no choice but to pull their children out. And I hate that. I hate that parents are being forced to abandon the system that once built us up. But this is not the classroom that we grew up with. This is a sexualization of childhood dressed up as inclusion. Our children are not experiments, their innocence is not optional, and their souls aren't for sale. And this rainbow that they're pushing, it's not leading to a pot of gold. It's leading straight into the hands of people like Mick Siegel who want to know who his 11-year-old students are having sex with.
Good evening, trustees, Superintendent Ebert. My name is Jacob Curry, for the record. I'm 19 years old. I just recently graduated from Green Valley High School in 2025. I am here tonight because of what is happening in our schools. And what is happening in our schools matter to me. I have friends, relatives, younger family members who are still attending Clark County School District's schools, including middle school students. First and foremost, I'm a Christian, and I believe that Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life, and my faith shapes the way I view the world. I respect that others hold different beliefs, but I also believe that respect and opportunity to express their viewpoints as anyone else should be viable. I've been deeply concerned by reports regarding a teacher at Gunderson Middle School, Christopher Siegel, encouraging students to come out as gay to him while raising questions about whether parents are being appropriately involved, which they are not. And as someone who recently graduated from CCSD, I also experienced what I believe was unequal treatment of viewpoints. During my time at Green Valley High School, I regularly saw LGBTQIA groups and tables during lunch school events. Yet, when I wanted to start to promote a pro-America student club called Club America through Turning Point USA, I was met with repeated restrictions and denials from teachers and staff when trying to table and build support. That experience has left me questioning a simple and honest question. Why should one viewpoint be welcomed while another is discouraged? If classrooms are going to permit teachers to display messages that reflect certain social or political viewpoints, such as the pride flag, then teachers who wish to display symbols of faith, such as the Ten Commandments, or express other sincerely held beliefs, should be treated with the same fairness, consistency that is treated with law and district policy. Equal treatment should mean equal treatment for everyone. Our schools exist to educate, not to divide families or create perception that some viewpoints are more acceptable than others. Parents deserve transparency, students deserve consistency, and every student, teacher, and student organization deserves to be treated fairly regardless of their beliefs. I urge this board to protect parental involvement, enforce district policies consistently, and ensure that every viewpoint is given equal consideration instead of favoring one another. With all of that being said, thank you for your time and happy Men's Mental Health Awareness Month.
Stephanie Kinsley for the record. I'm so sorry I disrupted the meeting earlier. I'm here to address you guys once again about basically the satanic pedophile infestation of CCSD, and at what point are we going to do something about it? Because the same way the superintendents in the past said you can't expel black kids is the same way a superintendent today can say, hey, you can't have any teachers in the school that are having gay pride flags and grooming kids in the school. We just saw another teacher arrested in CCSD. And I just want to know, how many more children are you willing to sacrifice? I know a lot of our teachers are willing to sacrifice children because they're willing to fund Planned Parenthood with their union dollars. I was very surprised to find out someone who ran for school board, a black woman, was funded by Planned Parenthood. Being funded by the black genocide is insane to me, much less just the genocide of children of any color. These same teachers celebrated the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and nothing was done about it. And I'm curious how you guys lay your head down at night. I couldn't, because I know I answer to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and he would rather a millstone be tied around your neck and have you thrown into the sea than to harm a child. Now, since we know, and some things are offensive, that doesn't mean they're not true. Gay men are 4 times more likely to commit sexual assault on children. At what point are we going to say, hey, when you're a walking red flag, we won't let you around kids? The same people who push to have drag queen story hour for their children has to be hosted in a library, because if you did that anywhere outside of a museum, a school, or library, you'd be arrested because it's so gross. But this is what we do. The same women who will sacrifice their children to the transgendered ideology. I just want to know when we stop sacrificing your children. Like, you've sold your soul, but I know it feels like that to me, but I want you guys to know that Jesus Christ will celebrate more for you who repent than he does for me who's loved him my whole life. And if not to save the children, just to make me jealous, turn to Jesus, change your ways. Like, because this is sick, you guys. It's sick, and you're all in on it, not you. You're all in on it. And I just need you to really have a come to Jesus moment. Look in the mirror.
Buenos tardes a todos. My name is John Carlo. You just said my name 3 times. I'm an all too familiar voice to Nevada, Miss Ebert. I know you from when you were at the Board of Education. This place has changed. It's been a long time since I've been here. I've been traveling the country, working really, really hard. But Texas is in the house. Okay, I know there's a couple Texans here. I am one. But I come in the name of the great governor of the universe, King Yeshua, the only begotten Son of God, the first and the last, the Alpha and the Omega. Let me first say that I'm running for public office as a state legislator in Assembly District 16. Unlike my opponent, Cecilia Gonzalez, I care about CCSD students, and I actually show up from time to time to school board meetings. And I want to let all the parents know I'm for school choice, I'm for protecting teachers, and I'm for keeping pornographic books out of public school. Now, during Noah's time, God flooded the world, and then it grieved God's heart after he destroyed all of mankind except for Noah's family. But God doesn't want to destroy you, and God doesn't want to destroy all the homosexuals. He does not want to damn your soul for eternity. Summer is hot. Nevada is hot. And I guarantee you, hell will be much hotter. After the flood, God gave the world a rainbow as a symbol of peace. And now the LGBTQ community has taken that rainbow and twisted and perverted it. You guys won't allow the Confederate flag into your schools, but you allow the LGBTQ community flag into your schools, which has nothing to do with history. And I'm here, more importantly, to talk about this guy who's really messed up in the head, Mick Siegel from Gundern Middle School. CCSD, you guys are in the national headlines again. How many lawsuits, how many millions of dollars is CCSD going to lose in lawsuits? And I just want to thank, in closing, I want to thank Alex Stein from O'Keefe Media Group. He's a true Texan. He's a true American hero. He was at the Uvalde Elementary School after the mass shooting. Thank you.
Good afternoon. David Gomez for the record, Nevada Peace Alliance president. I couldn't really put this together to say it out openly because I never have papers like that. But the reason I'm bringing this to your attention is because there's a severe breach to the district policy regarding the student-teacher boundaries and parent rights currently occurring at Henderson Middle School. It has come to light that an ELA teacher at Gunderson actively advertising student or gender pronouns identity, encouraging them to transition. And most alarming, explicitly, instructing these children to hide this information from their parents. This is not a matter of political debate. This is a direct textbook violation established in Clark County School District policies. First, under CCSD Regulation 6124.2, teachers are mandated to act as an impartial moderator and handling sensitive and controversial topics. This policy explicitly states that a teacher shall not attempt, either direct and indirectly, to limit or control the judgment of students. By actively suggesting that a student should become transgender, this employee is entirely abandoning their role as an educator and stepping into the role of an indoctrinator. Secondly, under CCSD policy 6124.3, staff are strictly prohibited from imposing personal, social, or political views onto students. A classroom teacher does not possess a medical, psychological, or legal authority to guide a minor child through the gender pronouns transitions or any transitions, let alone initiate that conversation. Finally, the most deceptive instruction children to keep the secrets from their parents fundamentally subverts the parent-child relationship in violation of the core intent of CCSD and Regulation 1213.1, which underlies the necessity parent partnership in student education. A public school classroom should never be a place where children are taught to actively deceive their legal guardians. When a teacher tells a student it's okay to hide a massive life-alternating discussion from their family, they are in violation of public trust, breaking district violation and creating severe liability for the district. With the severe liability at hand, I know that there is currently an investigation into this instruction practice at the school with the classroom conduct that is occurring, but I am requesting the conclusion of termination of this teacher if any of the findings are in alignment with what was on social media. And we need a strict enforcement of the rules already on your books to ensure that parents are never locked out of their children's life by a CCSD staff member. So I am here to invoke these policies upon you. You have that right. You have that power. These policies are in your hands. I know that. I know what I'm running for. These policies are in your hands. I'm invoking it upon you. Act on it, please.